If you lust after the BMW badge, you need mid-size SUV spaciousness, and you'd rather dance on broken glass than drive a diseasal, then a petrol-powered all-wheel drive X3 will set you back 77 grand before on-roads. And that's a little bit too rich for some. However, the latest addition to the X3 range is the penny-pinching, buck-banging and not quite poverty-pack sDrive20i version. Skim off some of the creamy goodness, and the entry price for the petrol-powered mid-size family hauler is now 10 grand cheaper. So what X3 goodness don't you get for 67 grand? Well, let's find out. Climb in and it's not immediately apparent what's missing. BMW really knocked the X3 cabin design out of the park. Superficially at least, it feels like a proper premium experience. The materials and textures are suitably rich, it seems nicely built and it presents well. Importantly, you get little sense the corners have been cut. So you get this Butte semi-digital instrumentation cluster as standard, as well as head-up display, plus cruise control with brake function, a reversing camera, and 360-degree sensors. Here's a hot tip. The upgrade from the 6.5-inch business spec iDrive 6 to the 10.25-inch professional version is a no-cost option. So why would you go with a smaller one? So, what don't you get? Well, Apple CarPlay for a start, that's $479. Those seats? No. These leather jobbies add a further $2,000. The standard ones are mostly cloth. Glass roof? That's another 3 grand. In fact, do you really need any of these extras? As this X3 sits, you're already 5 grand further into the hole before you spend an extra 2 grand for the Glacier Silver paintwork. This car sits on the standard 19-inch wheels, but I know some of you are going to be enticed by the optional 21-inch wheels. They're $2,700. Then, to smooth the ride out, you're going to have to opt for the adaptive dampers, which is a further $1,500. Add on-roads, and you're saying hello to 80 large or more, which is a bit too rich for a not quite poverty pack X3. That all said, you do get the same equipment list as the former price-leading xDrive20i for diesel version, but going petrol saves you about 3 grand. And you do away with all that messy business of greasy fuel pumps and slippery ground underfoot at the local servo. But where you do lose out is under the bonnet. For a start, that 20i engine makes do with just 135 kilowatts and 290 newton meters, which might be handy for a compact hot hatch, but isn't much chop for a medium-sized SUV. For another thing, BMW cut costs by removing the front drive shafts. That's right, it's rear-wheel drive. And any rear-wheel drive BMW should be a proper driver's car, right? And guess what? The X3 drives quite nicely indeed. At 8.2 seconds for the run to triple figures, it's hardly what you call fire breathing. But there's ample gutsiness underfoot for tooling around town, and the 8-speed auto is an absolute gem. To say that there's shades of 3 Series in the way that it drives isn't a big stretch, and that certainly rings true for the way that it handles and steers. However, the passive suspension is a little on the firm side, and suddenly that extra $1,500 splurge on the adaptive dampers looks enticing. Being rear-wheel drive, it's probably not the ideal X3 that you take to the ski slopes, but then again, not everyone skis. Sure, the sDrive20i is no ultimate driving machine, but it's bloody good by most measures, and damn fine for a medium SUV. Do we like the cheapy X3? Surprisingly so, but here's our advice. Forget the options. As a value proposition, this version is at its most appealing without them. If you do have more coin in the kitty, shop further up the X3 ladder. You not only get a higher level of standard equipment, but you also get a lustier powertrain as part of the package. Check out our full review on caradvice.com and don't forget to subscribe.